Hello everyone, my name is Miro and thank you for joining me for another planty video. This one is going to be sort of a haul, sort of story time, and I have to admit this is not initially how I envisioned this video, and I will explain what happened because it's quite an interesting story, at least in my opinion. But we have two new plants today and you can kind of see a bit of them, and they are kind of here. People who are into orchids are going to know what I'm talking about already just by seeing that. But we have two new plants today that I'm very excited about, and I sort of mentioned these plants back in December that I was really looking hard to get them. They have sort of been on my wish list for some time, not these exact ones, but just this type of a plant, type of an orchid. I can say it's an orchid, and you are going to get to see them very soon. And I finally was able to get two of them. I actually had to get two. There was not an option for me to get one. I know, poor me, poor me. How am I gonna live with two new plants? But they're very exciting. So without further ado, let me just reveal to you that I got two Vanda orchids. Now, I think I should get up and show you one of them and sort of tell you the story of these two plants. This is the plant number one. It was recently watered, and let me just remove this so we don't mess up the flower. I did mess up one of the flowers by accident, and I actually don't even think that's my fault. And I sort of planned to do this video a little bit differently. There was supposed to be an unboxing, but unfortunately, I mean, we do have sort of unwrapping, but I just wanted to film my reaction when I went to the flower shop to get these orchids, but I didn't get to do that because initially I was a little bit disappointed I think for a very good reason. I will sort of explain to you everything that had happened. As I said, I've been on the lookout for Vanda orchids for several months, and I sort of really decided in December that that's it, I'm just going to get a Vanda orchid, and they're not really typically available, and they're kind of hard-ish to get. I can order them online from different places. I can import them from EU. I can order them from EU nurseries, but they are mostly not in bloom. And even if they are in bloom, just the thought of shipping an orchid from someplace in EU to me, the flowers would be damaged for sure. We kind of saw what happened with some of those Paphiopedilums. I think all three of them had damaged flowers. So that's really unfortunate. And I didn't want to go through that with the Vanda orchid. So I sort of asked my friends who live in bigger cities to be on the lookout, and they did find a couple, but they were just very expensive because this is an expensive orchid. They were about 70 or 80 euros, those that my friends saw. So I did ask a lady here locally that also has a flower store, and she imports some plants if she can be on the lookout, and she sort of promised me that she was going to get a Vanda orchid and it was going to be around 50 euros, 45, 50, but unfortunately she could not find one either. And then somewhere in the meantime, or maybe towards September, October, I'm not really actually sure when this happened, maybe a bit later, I did meet a wonderful lady, maybe a girl, but she has a flower store in my town. It's called Avalanche, which I think is a rose. And we just sort of became really good, really fast friends. And she told me that she could actually order these orchids for me. Actually, this is not even my first order with her. I showed in one of my previous videos I got that Anthurium Sherry Baby. That's the same way that I got those. So this time I got Vanda orchids. And this is one of them. I'm going to show you the second one a little bit later. So the way this works is that you essentially, in Europe, you have these big exporters in Netherlands. These are huge plant markets that regular people don't have access to. You may have heard other plant tubers from Europe talk about this significantly. Kaylee Allen has mentioned them in the past 2-3 years ago when she did go to Netherlands, and you can see those are just huge greenhouses, and these people don't sell to individual buyers, they sell to other well, not even other flower shops, they sell to big importers. So this exporter from Netherlands, which is, they're called Fertiplant, they sell to an importer here in Serbia. And my friend is sort of part of this group that sort of gets the plants from the importer, our Serbian importer. So it's quite complex and it gets quite pricey. Of course, it's cheaper this way than for me to go to a flower store and to get it. And of course, I did select these. Again, not specifically these two. I will show you the Vanda mix that I selected. And when you order plants this way, and again, you typically cannot order as a private person, you cannot order plants this way. The quantities are usually very big. I saw a lot of Hoya, I saw a lot of aroids, and typically, for example, for Hoya mixes, they vary anywhere between 6, 12, 24, even plants. You have to purchase them at once, right? So for example, I found a good deal on Hoya meredithy, but you had to get 12 Hoya meredithy, and of course you can imagine then it doesn't become such a good deal. And for me to expand this network, to ask other people if they want in, it just becomes super, super complicated. I used to do small imports before from Sweden, and I know how quickly it can all go wrong because someone will not pay you, someone will be late with the payment, and you sort of have to come up with the money yourself. But anyway, not to get too much into that story, they had a lot of plants. I think there must have been tens of thousands of plants on this plant market for very good prices. Some were not good. Notably, Hoya latifolia, like a small pot with one leaf cutting, was about 20 something euros, and then meredithy with like 2 or 3 cuttings in a pot was like 5, which is crazy, does not make sense to me. But anyway, back to the Vandas here. And I saw that there are several Vanda packages, and typically they are with 4 to 8 plants, I believe. There are very few that you can order one plant, and those are Vandas in a big vase, and those are really, really expensive. We're talking like 80, 70, 80 euros just for that. And those are like really the most premium. And then these are from a special mix. That's just the name of the mix. It was called Special Mix, and the other ones are just not as special, I guess. And from this mix, you had to order 2. I know, poor me. Poor, but I did order 2 Vandas, and this one was not photographed. So essentially the way this works is what you see on the photo is what you can expect. You don't get to see individual plants, but if they show you Hoya meredithy, you're gonna get Hoya meredithy. If they show you a mix of whatever plants, let's say there are 4 different types of syngonium in a mix and you have to order 12, you can expect to get 3 from each of the types, right? But that's what you get because it's in the photo. So there were 5 Vandas in the photo. There was a purple one, but it was a different kind of purple. And this one was just not in the photos. And the other one that I got was also not in the photos. So when these arrived, I sort of thought I got bamboozled. I was like, ooh, they tricked me, because purple Vandas are typically in cheaper mixes that look like this. But through some research later on, I did find out that these are sort of special. The other one that I have is one actually of the most special Vandas that this orchid manufacturer has. That's why I didn't record me picking them up at the flower store, because I was just like, I wasn't super disappointed, but the flower colors that you expect in this mix, there's like a yellow, red, I think like dark red, there is orange one, I believe. I'm just pulling this from the top of my head. There's like a purple one as well, but different, like two-toned, really, really nice purple. So when I got these, I was like, I don't know, I didn't expect it. I love them. Don't get me wrong, I love them. I adore these plants, but I just did not expect it. So it wasn't something that I was ready for. But it's all fine. It's all good now. So that's just the reason why you didn't get slightly different video. But these plants come from Netherlands, and they come from the biggest manufacturer of, or I think the only even manufacturer of Vandas from Europe, Ansu. And Anso is a company that there is like Anso in Netherlands, and there is another part in Thailand. And before they became Anso, they were Anko or something like that. So the name was different, but then they joined with a part from Thailand, which is actually much older, I think in the 50s or the 60s, that Thai nursery opened, and they became Ansu. And they say they are the sole supplier of Vanda orchid in Europe. They're quite famous over here. I don't know about the rest of the world. And they supply the European market with a cut flower, which I'm so sad when I see them, but also like I got to see some of the colors in person, which are just exceptional. And they also supply the market with live plants. So this is one of their plants, and you can see the condition in which this arrived. I think she has a really good root system. I just sprayed her. She did not get watered yet. That's something that we're gonna do. But overall, I think this is a good, nice, healthy orchid that we almost knocked down the anthurium with. There is one part of the flower here missing. I don't know if I did this. It just happened while unboxing, so that's a shame. But I mean, we just like, hello. Are we kidding? That is just huge. This is beautiful. And I'm so sorry that I was initially disappointed, because this is actually just fantastic. And I really, really, to be quite honest, have nothing to complain about, except that, again, I really wanted some other colors, but no one is saying I can't order again, right? These are just very, very unique orchids. You can clearly tell why I wanted to get, I don't even have to explain to you why I wanted to get these. And I was able to get them for a good price for what they are. I think they were around, let me just do some calculations. Let's do this in dollars, and then my European people, I will give you the price as well. So about $36, and that is around, let's just say in euros, similar, 34 euros. So that's actually a fantastic price for these. Fantastic price. And if it weren't for my friend from this flower store, thank you, Nicoletta. That's her name, Nicoletta, and you can follow her flower shop if you want. It is Serbian based, but she would probably appreciate it. These would probably cost around 55 euros. So I got two Vandas, and this is the first one. I tried to match the photo of the flower with what is on Ansu website. They do arrive with a tag. I just had one, but unfortunately Ansu doesn't write anything on the tag. They don't write what specific Vanda this is, which I think is just a shame. It's a waste of a tag. Like, write the name, please. I understand that it's much more complex, but I think it's doable. I would, hey, employ me. I will go through a Vanda nursery and I will write, even with my hand, I will write the names. You just tell me what they are, I will write it. So this one is called, hold on, I need to look at the name. It's Vanda Sunanda Royal Purple. Don't really know what Sunanda stands for, so Vanda Royal Purple. It's a beautiful one. I do believe this is a cultivar of some sort, a cross of some sort, because most of the commercial Vandas are. You can get some Vanda species in the orchid nurseries, but I don't think they're as impressive with the flowers like this one is. They're just a little bit more subtle. This is really showy. It screams cultivated, right? From this flower, which I really don't mind. I love it. I love when we get something so beautiful, so huge by the efforts of the cultivation. This now is the part where I have a confession to make. This is not my first Vanda. It's not even my second Vanda. It's my third and fourth. My first Vanda I got, I think, just when COVID hit. And unfortunately, this was a rescue they did pay for, which now when I think about it was not the nicest thing to do. And I was just very excited to even be offered this Vanda. It was supposed to be orange, and it was just without most of the roots. And to people who know about Vandas, that's just not great. it's actually quite bad. You should avoid that at all costs. And that actually, even I remember even now the price, it was about 25 or even 30 euros. So just slightly cheaper than this. And it was without a flower. It was a rescue. And it hung around for about 3-4 months before it croaked. It was dehydrated. There was no way for me to get it going. And unfortunately, she fell apart one day. Sad story, but we moved on. Then I ordered a Vanda from Orchid and Luque, and that one arrived well, but unfortunately it was my experimentation days. And I tried to pot it because I see that a lot of people do grow Vanda spotted, and it did not work for me. But before I accepted that this did not work for me, I changed from bark to leca to rocks to whatever I could think of. And it just got worse and worse and worse. I swear, every single month we would change the setup. I would change the setup, and she finally croaked. And that's okay. Mistakes, right? We're not going to be potting this one. We are not going to be potting this one. I'm going to water it once a week by dunking it in water up to here. People do say you should do it a little bit higher, but not get the stem wet. But I don't know, I think I'm just gonna do it a little bit lower, and for now I'm spraying it twice a day. So we will see how that will work out. If it turns out that this is good for this plant, then we are just going to try to proceed. There are some challenges with that, with spraying every single day, but you know, it's like mostly water dripping, that's the issue. I don't really love that in my room because let's not damage the floors and get even more mold going on. But it's a beautiful, beautiful orchid, and I will show you soon the second one. And these are really, really tropical plants, so they are not gonna love to be cold. On this care sheet, they say the temperatures are from 17 to 28 degrees of Celsius. I do believe the range is actually a bit different. I think they don't really like even below 20. And I think they can actually stand a lot more than 28 of Celsius. And they say to water twice a week in summer, once a week in winter, and to water by dunking in glass vase for 30 minutes. So you can kind of see the diagram there, what that looks like. So we will be doing that. I do need to find a glass vessel and then to start dunking them essentially, and to get some orchid fertilizer. In my opinion, it's not the easiest orchid. I think it, you know, compared to Phalaenopsis and others, I think they're probably much easier. I read that it's very hard to rebloom a Vanda. Now, I hope that my grow lights can help me out because my windows are not bright at all. These are northwest facing windows, but I did put them under my grow light. I have like a 400 watt Mars grow light, and they are hanging just below it. Now, once it's done blooming, I will move it up so foliage can get more of the exposure to light, but because now she is in bloom, I sort of hang it a little bit lower just so, because I want to see the flowers. I don't want the flowers to be going into my grow light where I can't see them. So I think for now we are just gonna keep her maybe in slightly less low light, but I actually don't think in any way this is low light. So I think we should be able to rebloom this. We should be able to rebloom this. I have read that some Vandas bloom up to 3 times a year and that flowers last, you know, around a month or so. We have 2 more buds that we are waiting to open, so we will see if that's gonna happen. I really hope so. But as the days pass, I just think this one is looking better and better, and sort of the flower is getting darker and nicer. So it's quite a sight, actually. You can just see how beautiful she is. And I mean, give me a Hoya that looks like this, right? So I adore this one. Now I have one more that I want to show you, and I don't promise that I'm not gonna order 2 more because I will have light for 2 more. I just love them. I love them. What I should do is wait to see how these are growing and then get two more if they're doing well, but that to me sounds like a lot of reason. And do we have that here? I don't think so. By the way, they're not fragrant at all. So, but also like, who cares? It's kind of like, who cares? She's gorgeous. Okay, before I return the purple one, because it's kind of hard to hang it anywhere else, you can kind of see. Let's do a thumbnail. So this is the other one. This is Vanda Seashells, and I can get to the phone to get you my full name, to get it full name of the Vanda, which I will do. But just to compare them a little bit, this one is much more compact, as we can see, than this one. This one is a bit leggier. This one is more compact. The leaves are more robust. They're thicker, which you can't really see, but she just is chonker. The roots also, you know, it's just very different. It's much chunkier Vanda, and this one actually just feels more resistant, even though that's not what it necessarily says on Ansu website. It says that this one is more resilient, but this one just feels like it should be. So I'm going to show you a little bit detailed footage of this Vanda, but I first need to return this one. So the other one is back, and let's just check the full name of this. Vanda Divana Seashells. She's gorgeous. Apparently this is one of the rarest. They have two on their website, Ansu, this one and one more, and they're supposed to be one of the rarest forms that they have, or not the rarest, the least available, let's say. And it's just, once again, very beautiful. I think a lot of you are probably going to like the purple one more. I definitely love this one more, which is why I saved it for the end. I think it's very interesting, this two-tone flower. And she's gorgeous. She's more compact. I really love that she's so compact. Now, there are some other mixes where the plants were much taller than this, and I don't think I'm going to be getting any from those mixes, but I really want to get an orange one, or like a yellow one, or like a... Well, I don't know why I say or, because it's more like and. I want to get orange and yellow and red. It's an and, it's not or. Let's be real. Let's not lie to you here. There was some additional noise outside, so I kind of got distracted there for a moment. But anyway, beautiful one. I wanted to talk a little bit about Vandas in general and what sort of we should be careful about when it comes to Vanda orchid, because she's a little bit different than some of the other ones. And Vanda, you know, you have two types of orchids essentially. You have monopodials, which is what Vanda is, and you have sympodials, something like Cattleya or that cherry baby that you saw, and those that make pseudobulbs. Those are sympodial orchids, my cymbidium, which you have seen. And those are not as problematic because you can always rely on some other growth. With Vanda, you essentially have this one crown, and if you F this up, you F'd it up, you're done for. These are, you know, and one of the biggest issues is rotting this. If you shower it, if the water stays too long in the pits of the leaves, it can rot it. And that is an issue because you can't really recover it that easily. Even if you rot it somewhere here, if you cut it, maybe you can save it, but again, it's very, very tough. I know that some people have brought back Vanda successfully and recovered them, but I just think that from what I have seen, they never look as great, you know, and it may take a very long time. And if you're not experienced with them, what I am not experienced with them, you just don't really want to go through it. So I actually would say if you're a beginner, stay away from rescue Vandas. That has been sort of my conclusion here. Now, the reason why I didn't order this from a nursery in Europe, because again, mostly those are going to be without flowers, is that I really wanted to see flowers in person, and there might be a chance that I will order from an orchid nursery in the future some Vandas without flowers, especially like the smaller Vandaceous orchids. I used to have Neostylus lusneri, I think that's the name of it. I used to have that one and it actually bloomed for me and I loved it to death, but I had to get rid of it when most of my orchids got a virus because of a phalaenopsis from a flower store, because virus is not really treatable. And I used to have rhynchostylis as well. Those that's my fault. Though rhynchostylis, it did transition well to semi-hydro and it grew okay. So rhynchostylis you can definitely pot. And I may get another rhynchostylis, but to be quite honest, I'm not just a huge fan of rhynchostylis. I just really love these big flowers. Though rhynchostylis is typically fragrant, so there's that's going for it. And it actually, I think, more frequently can be found in a flower shop here. But anyway, let's just continue with the Vandas here. So these are really warmth-loving orchids, humidity-loving orchids, and these plants love higher light as well. They, unlike, some other orchids like those with pseudobulbs, these don't really have any structure to hold the water. And because it's not potted, I really need to make sure that I spray it every single day. I was joking with my friend Julie, these are now my children, they need to be fed every single day. And by fed, I really mean just watered a bit every single day. But soaking we are gonna do once a week. And I think tomorrow I should soak them. I do have a vase, but I think tomorrow I'm just gonna go out and look for something. Now, if you have any tips for how to grow Vandas, and you cannot be from Florida, because I know that you people in Florida can just put these outside and they thrive and yada, yada, yada. I saw that guy from Florida who has like amazing nursery. He can hold them by the roots and they just stand up, which my Vandas don't really do. Don't know how his Vandas do it, but I'm not gonna do it with mine. I don't wanna break the roots. He grows magnificent Vandas. That's just not the reality here. This is more to the north than Florida, obviously. Can't grow. Maybe in summer I can grow them outside, but I would just absolutely pass out from watering because outside it gets up to 40 degrees here of Celsius, which is over 100, I think 110 maybe of Fahrenheit or close. So probably I'm not going to put them outside, but yeah, I don't know. If you have any advice, I for now plan to use mix of RO water and tap water for Vandas because I don't have rainwater now. I may start to collect rainwater again. I will think about it. But yeah, and fertilizer. I think I'm going to get Orchid Focus. I used to have Rain Mix, but I'm going to wait until I go to Sweden to get Rain Mix, I think. And I will just use probably Orchid Focus, which I used in the past with a lot of success as well. And I'm going to use it for my Hoya too. I really hope that you like them. If you're a person who doesn't like orchids, I really think you have to like them. You just have to like them. They're just so gorgeous. Intimidating. When people say aeroids are hard, try a Vanda. This is hard. El Chaco, no issue. Size that up, no problem. Atapapoense, Billitai, come on, please give me a break. Vandas. Oh, I really, the predecessors of these two did not have a lot of luck, so I really hope these do well. I will make one note about the roots. I do think the roots could be better, but once again, I'm just saying this is what we can get in Europe. And even if I went out to pick a Vanda in person, I just don't think I would be able to find anything better than this. I sort of have to insert this section because I forgot about it. The thing about the color is, once again, you're really supposed to get what is in the mix, and I really did not appreciate not getting that. I don't think it's difficult to provide the page with more photos of what you can expect. I don't really love that. It is fine now, but I really thought I was bamboozled there. And luckily these arrived in a big Ansu box on which it did say special, so that's how I knew. But there is no way to contact Fertiplant at all, not for me because I'm a private person and they just do deal with importers. So that kind of sucks for me because I thought for a moment there, and it would be nice if this was explained somewhere. But yeah, I just didn't really appreciate that. I don't think it's that more difficult to add several other photos, which actually makes me wonder, because I also sell plants, sometimes my Hoyas, and people never really complain, but I see how people complain about other people's plants, and I'm just like, there's no complaints with these people, and you have to order in big batches, and you don't want them? okay, you never have to order them from them again. Good luck finding your other exporter that's gonna provide you with the plant material that you need, right? A lot of the times, I don't know, I really feel sometimes for the shops, because doing this and being in the plant world for over 15 years at this point, much more than 15, I think close to 20 years, because I am 32 and I think I was probably 12 or maybe 13 when I sort of got into plants, and I was in the sixth grade or fifth grade, so I don't actually even know how old that is. I think probably 12 or 13. Those people really don't get to complain. They can send them dead plants and they don't get to say anything about that. Infested plants, they don't really get to say anything about that. Even the small flower shops, they don't get to say anything about that. My friend works, she makes, flower arrangements, and in the past 2 weeks she got flowers, live cut flowers for the arrangements in terrible condition. They arrived in terrible condition, and then she doesn't get to say anything about that. So you really don't get to complain as much. So I do kind of feel for them, quite a lot actually, at least with the people that are good. And she is really one of the good ones. We talk about plants a lot, but yeah, I mean, she was really bummed out because she knew that I wanted different colors, and she just couldn't help me get in touch with Ferti Plant. And I told you I would like to order 2 more, but I'm afraid I'm gonna get the same ones, or one of them will be repeated. I just wish there was a way for me to order something that's not this again. But it's not, that's just not possible. I really wish that it worked a little bit differently, but it is what it is. I just wanted to insert that. I don't know. It felt really important for me to kind of mention that, because I see that a lot of the times people who sell the plants get the heat for being greedy, etc. But in reality, I know very few people who actually got rich. When I say know them, I don't know them. I just know stories about them who actually got some money from the plants, but most of them are just regular people, who didn't. It's just that a lot of the times they will send you crap, and you have to, you can complain, but who else is going to send you? I think this is one of the 1 or 2 exporters that work with importers here, so good luck, change to a different one. Maybe the only one, maybe the only exporter that works with importers here, so there you go. And there's only like 2 or 3 importers in the country. There are many flower stores, but only a couple of importers. So I'm sort of very lucky to get an insight into what that looks like, and to be able to see, because my gosh, this mystical Netherlands plant market that's behind passwords and bars and whatnot, tall walls, has always been such a mystery, and I got to see what's on there, and there's some good stuff on there. I did take a lot of photos for myself. I'm not going to share them because I don't think that would be entirely legal, because everything is locked, etc. You have floor access, which is very similar, but I don't think they are necessarily exactly the same. Floor access is unlocked. You can see what's on their website, but you can't order anything unless you are like a big flower store. But the selection is very similar. There are a lot of variegated aroids that are making their rounds, so I get to see what's being mass produced. But yeah, anyway, not to get too much into this, I'm happy with these now. I'm thinking about 2 more, but I would like different flower colors. That is all for today. Let me know what you think about Vandas, if you have any care tips. Essentially, the plan is to keep them in my room, which is around 22 or something. The humidity is around 70, which is actually quite a problem. Mold. We're having issues. We need to fix that in spring. It wasn't this humid. Now it is. Now it is. So I think they're going to be fine. And I'm spraying them twice a day, sort of from this down below. There is a small pot here, which you can see there's no media, there's no potting mix. These are true epiphytic orchids, which need a lot of air around the roots. So I'm spraying them twice a day with no fertilizer, just a mix of RO water and tap water, and they're just under the light. So I think they're gonna do well. If I can keep this regimen up, I think they should be good. And the roots, again, for the most part, look good. I will need to find a vessel to soak them in with, though. Yeah, that's really all that I wanted to say. I really wanted to show you these plants. I am super excited. I hope we didn't break a root. Unfortunately, some of the roots are a bit damaged because you saw how they arrived. They kind of bend the roots. I wish they didn't, but I don't know how they would otherwise send them. I will see you very soon in another video. I'm gonna enjoy my orchids, and if you are looking for a magnificent plant to add to your collection, think about the Vanda orchid. You are so pretty. We are all so pretty together. Art pop. I would like to take some time to thank all of my patrons for their incredible support. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons, my 2 anonymous patrons, Alex von Siebenthal, Anne Margaret Moyne, Angela Bernard, Angela Parrish, Anna P. and C. Aspen Drake, Betsy, Brett Noble, Coney Pagano, Daniela Danube Daniels, Danan Rolls, Dipanjali Rao, Ether W, Erin Keenan, Eleni Saxon, Ellen, Vera, Ferdis Verdons, Francis Wilkins, Gathering Moss, Gina Geise, Gina Radovic, Grossitz Kyle, Growing Nurse, Hannah Matlin, Heather Uppenkamp, Hoji Scott, Yana Griffin, Jennifer Martin, Jessica Chio, Jody D. Gomez, Jonas Barry, Hjorth Larson, Kara, Catherine P., Casey Gross, Kelly Gallagher, Kelso, Kimberly Polka, Kiwi Mochi, Christy Ehrlich, Elle Lindberg, Lee Mooney, Lisa Mary MPLS, Lucas Yarchevsky, Mandy Milliken, Marcel Har, Maria Stein, Marina Yarmolich, Mars B., Marty Miller, Mary Rose, Melissa Walker, Michelle Heron, Mirka Grun-Roos, MJW, Moa Edmond, Miss Seidenhar, Nelly Yang, Niha, Nicole Moreau, Nina Nguyen, Nita Macy, Odette, PJ, Plan Druid, Saig Zera, Rachel Peterson, Renee, Rebecca C., Renee Church, Sharon Bone, Sophia Rian, Starla Von Lith, Stephanie H2O, Sufi Cortecangas, Tessa Martins, Thomas Marsden, Tia B., Trista Bailey, Tristan Thomas, Xenia Green, Youth of the Walamut, Zaira Rivera, Zordorama, and Zlokop Niponi. Also, a big thank you to my $3 patrons: Anna Malia, Karen Kilone Constance, Daryl Rosario, Eden Corlett, Holly Borner, KPZ, Lindsay Ann, Monica Wykers, Nella, Nerdy Kathy, Ringlov, Sheila Casper, Tang Watanesrio Cool, VH, and Wendy Foreman. And a thank you to my $1 patrons: 1 anonymous patron, Alice Borlin, Andrew G., Aquila, Brandon Pacheco, Catherine Molina, Couture Helvetica, Amelia Bronson, Jolie Sullivan, Kayla Vavra, Kelly Ash, Chris Perez, Laura E. Jackson, Lauren at Tugboat Plants, Laurie Ann Subramaniam, Luzmin Fernandez, Marga FV, Mary Diamond, Neely Spicer, Olivia Chinmuller, and Pacific NW Plant Lady.